Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I'm going to start with the theoretical, practical, and ethical consideration of research. Before this lecture, we talk a lot about the different approaches we have. And for instance, we talk about positivism, interpretivism, and realism. So today we are going to start with the consideration. When we got a lot of data, we got certain approaches. So before we start with our research program, we need to have a lot of consideration, and one of them is theoretical consideration. So we discuss in this lecture about that, the theoretical research consideration. When faced with a problem such as hanging a picture, we reach for a hammer, the most appropriate tool for the job. When carrying out sociological research, therefore, it makes sense to adopt a similar approach. Choose a research topic. Choose a research topic, then select the most appropriate method of collecting data. Unfortunately, although some methods are better suited than others to certain type of research, Ackroyd and Hughes argue that we should not see these methods as tools that are somehow appropriate for or inappropriate for particular tasks. Research methods do not have a clear, single, and straightforward purpose. In addition to this, as we have seen, sociological research is surrounded by theoretical beliefs about both the nature of the social world and how it can be studied. So, according to this paragraph, obviously we are going to start our research project, and before we start the research project, we need to know certain things. We need to have certain consideration to start a research topic. And what is all about it specifically, according to Ackroyd and Hughes, this is the kind of reference we need to learn. And according to this reference, there are different methods. We can't say for sure that this method is a perfect tool for this kind of research. Sometimes we are going to have a research topic which is that much important that we need to put all the methods in it for a valid result. According to these researcher, it is compulsory for a researcher to consider. It is important to mix up the method sometime to have more valid or more reliable result. So you can't pick one method for sure that we are going to pick this method. For instance, whatever your project is all about, only the statistical data is not sufficient for that. For a better validity, for a better result, a more reliable result, we need to have both method, and sometimes we have the middle way in between them. We can have a proportion of this method and another method. So when collecting data, therefore, a researcher has to make initial decision about factor such as what counts as data. Should the data be statistical or descriptive? Should the research test a hypothesis or simply report what respondents say? When deciding how to carry out research, sociologists need to confront and resolve a range of theoretical questions relating to choice of topic and research method. So this is what actually I told you before. When you are going to have a research project, before having a research product, you need to understand which kind of data you're going to get through this research. One thing, what should be the result of these research? When you're making up your mind that I'm going to have this kind of result, so simply the result, the outcome of the research will decide, which method you're going to adopt. We can think about the research method in terms of the toolbox, as research methods more than just toolbox within a single purpose. Topic choice. So in theoretical reconsideration, it is important which kind of topic you're going to opt. This very important. Which topic you are going to opt is the first step, first important subject towards your research. I'm planning to have a research. So first of all, I need to take a lot of time to decide which topic is better, which topic is the requirement of the society. So while you are thinking, while you are making up your mind about the selection of the topic, again, there are two or three things you need to consider. First of all, either you want to have a topic which is never researched before. There are a lot of people who simply think about that. They like to invent something, like to discover something. So they are interested in that thing. So obviously they go with a topic which is never ever touched before. So this is one kind of researcher. Second, we already have a lot of research done on that, but you want to have more moderate. You need to change something. You need to alter the research. You need to put something into that research which has been done previously. So it simply depends upon the mode of the researcher, what he is considering, what he is planning to do. First thing, either you want to take a new look, to something, or you are going to be the first person who is going to research on specific thing. This is the first thing. Second thing is that, I mean, what is your respondent? I mean, to whom you need to respond. I mean, either you are working for children, you are working for old age people, you are working for youngsters. So second thing, I mean, it simply depends. For instance, if we talk about Pakistan, most of the population of Pakistan is youngster. They are energetic people. So if I want to address majority of the population, so obviously whatever my research topic will be, it simply reflect the feelings, the sentiments of the youth. So both these are very important while choosing for the research topic. In both the social and the natural world, there are many potential topics to study, but the journal process is the same. What is considered worthy of being studied? This is what actually I mentioned earlier. It is important, the worthy of study. I mean, which layer, which hierarchy of the society you are going to address. This is important to when we are going for a research topic. Okay, if both the social and natural worlds, there are many potential topics to study, but the journal process is the same. What is considered worthy of being studied is influenced by a researcher's value. There are, okay, see that. I told you before, I mean, for instance, I'm going to be the first person who discuss something. I'm going to research on soul therapy. This is, I'm the first person. I decided to do on that one, because never ever this happens in the past before. So this is my frame of mind. I mean, go with a very different thing. I need to be look different, for instance. So my project will be that one thing. Secondly, no, I mean, I need to talk, I need to work on the majority of the population. This is the second category. Why I am going to decide, either I want to take a research for majority of the people, or I'm going to take initiative for certain topic. So simply depends on my interest. I mean, sometimes a person take a personal intention. For instance, I belong to a poor family, so the way I struggle in my whole life, the way I struggle and way I meet the challenges, I mean, on daily basis. So I'm interested to have a research topic, I mean, which is simply, you can say, boost people. I mean, just motivate people. Okay, go ahead. I mean, this is my life story. I struggle this, and I'm, for instance, I'm talking about my personality. I research on the people who are self icons, self-made people. So because I'm going to have a research on those topics, because they relate to my personality, my personal wish, my personal interest, my personal favoritism. So people normally have research, some people have research for the personal reasons. Institutional, I mean, then I'm definitely working. For instance, I'm planning to have a research, right? Okay, Ming, I like to do some research work, and but I'm planning to do a research work. Uh, Sometimes I have a choice. As I tell you one thing, once I called for to Denmark, the universities in Denmark, then Scandinavian countries, because I would love to do my PhD in soul therapy, but not a single country was able to give me that liberty, that I can have the facility to do my PhD in Scandinavian countries. No, I don't have a choice for that. So sometimes your personal interest, I mean, you're not able to meet the requirements for your personal interest. So you can simply, no choice, just you have to, I mean, you look forward to the universities, what universities are offering you. So the institution means institutional. University and governments are important source of research funding. In the UK, for example, university based research is overseen and funded by the Economic and Social Research Council, which in return is mainly funded by the UK government. If a government sponsor value quantitative statistical data, therefore qualitative research is unlikely to be acceptable. So I mean, if you can afford things, if you have an opportunity, you are planning for your personal, I mean, satisfaction, you are going to have research on that topic, you can go ahead. But most of the time, especially in Europe or in America, I mean, the universities or the government or the institutions which are going to give you funds for your research work. I mean, normally they work for the you can say for technology, for economic realities. So they work mostly on that. So choice of the method. No, you simply decide the topics. You got two choices: your personal choice or the university, the offering of the university. Do two choices. No, choice of methods. I mean, this is similar, surrounded by the theoretical consideration, in particular the researcher perspective. Interactionist tends to avoid using statistical methods, mainly because they are not trying to establish causality. Okay, what is the cause? So there are two groups. One, interactionist. I mean, I need to interact people. I need to know about their behavior. I know I'm interested to know about the feelings. how the people think. So I'm interested about the cause rather than the statistical data. This is all about the interactionist. And secondly, positivist. You know what a positivist is. In previous lectures I mentioned a lot of times, I mean, they work for the natural sciences, they work for the experimentation, they work for, I mean, they don't put themselves into the situation and just give their own opinion. No, they simply describe, they are descriptive. Whatever they see, they simply write it down, right? We can therefore suggest an association between the interpretivism and qualitative research methods, such as focus interview or participant observation. Similarly, we can suggest an association between positivism and quantitative data, such as questionnaire and laboratory experiments. However, this is simplified distinction that cannot be applied in all circumstances. A mix of method, this is important, you need to learn. A mix of method data triangulation can be used to satisfy different type of research questions within the same topic. Although an interpretivist interested in understanding why people fear crime will choose a primary method that give in-depth qualitative data, this doesn't mean they will never employ quantitative method. Before doing their main research, the researcher might carry out a small duty using a simple quantitative questionnaire to discover if people actually do fear crime. If they do not, then further research is probably unnecessary. So this is what actually we need. I mentioned earlier, I mean, not a single, if you have a good research, if you want to have some productive research, I mean, there must be a mixture. There must be the hodgepodge of different methods to produce a good result. For this purpose, you need to mix your methods. You need to have different sources. You need to have different type of method. You need to have a different type of data collection. A researcher belief is about the reliability and validity of particular methods will also play a part in which approach that choose for their research. Such decisions may reflect a researcher's value judgment about how something should be studied. If, like Polsky, the researcher believed that covert participation is both unethical and methodological invalid, they are unlikely to choose this method. So simply depends on the people. Sometimes obviously there are ethical issues as well. So people, while having are conducting research methods, the final thing we have is they need to mix up certain things for a good result. And sometimes it even happens if you are not interested in the qualitative data. Okay, you simply have a questionnaire, either people have a fear for crime or not. If they simply say they don't have any fear, so in the beginning, so see, it's a mixture of things. Questionnaire, focus interview, you are taking 2 or 3 things together just to have a valid result. But if in the beginning, in the start of your research project, if you're not able to meet the requirement, simply people are not interested to give your answer according to questionnaire, so you simply stop, continue with your research. You need to change the method, you need to change the whole scenario. Okay, this is all we have for today, and inshallah ta'ala, in my next lecture I'm going to wrap up the whole article of practical, and ethical consideration of research. Jazakallah.